She Who Awakens by Alina Chamberlain. The Alchemy of Calm. Part 4. What to Forgive and Where to Say No. In the journey of relational mastery, a woman must not only be a source of love and inspiration, but also the primary guardian of her own dignity and safety. While the She Who Awakens philosophy teaches us to approach the masculine spirit with empathy and wisdom, it also requires us to recognize the definitive boundaries of the fortress. Understanding the difference between a temporary emotional lapse and a systematic threat to your well-being is the hallmark of a mature, self-actualized woman. The absolute no, violence and systematic abuse. There are certain behaviors that cross the line from a rough patch into a territory where forgiveness becomes a danger to your soul. You must say an absolute no to physical assault and violence. Any action that poses a direct threat to your health or physical safety is a non-negotiable boundary. Psychological violence. This includes systematic humiliation, the constant suppression of your will, and efforts to destroy your self-esteem. Systematic negativity, when negative behavior is not a rare outburst but a permanent feature of the relationship regardless of your attempts at harmony. Addictions with treatment refusal. While compassion is vital, a man who refuses to seek help for destructive addictions is choosing his vice over the sanctity of the family. It is crucial to distinguish between a choleric temperament and an excitable, epileptoid, character accentuation or psychopathy. A choleric man may boil over quickly, but he respects boundaries and follows the rules of social conduct. If his partner is wise and calm, he will recalibrate. However, an individual with an excitable accentuation may remain successful at work while being a domestic tyrant at home, using threatening gestures and psychological terror. True psychopathy is even more severe. The individual is socially maladapted, getting into conflicts at the store, on the street, and with every family member. These behaviors are often rooted in neurological issues or trauma, and if the man refuses medical and psychological treatment, there is no point in preserving the family for the sake of the children, as the children will only suffer more in such an environment. Approach with a cool head. Infidelity and flirting. When faced with infidelity or flirting, the She Who Awakens woman does not descend into immediate hysteria. Instead, she approaches the situation with a cool head and a diagnostic mind. Before rushing to a divorce, analyze the vibrational threads of your relationship. Ask yourself with radical honesty, am I providing the pulses of attention he needs? Am I nurturing the sexual intrigue that keeps his hunter's instinct focused on me? Or have I become a mother figure? Frequently, a man looks elsewhere because the psychological and sexual desire at home has vanished. He may still respect you as the mother of his children, but he seeks the temptress energy elsewhere. If you shift your focus back to your own femininity and radiance, a man who is not a pathological cheater will often turn his gaze back to the queen of his own home. The path of wisdom. What can be forgiven? In a long-term union, we must leave space for the humanity of our partners. You can and should forgive temporary impulses that do not cross the line into systematic abuse. Contextual aggression. If he had a last straw moment at work and vented his irritation without physical contact, this can be managed through the de-escalation techniques we have studied. Normal versus pathological jealousy. It is important to distinguish between the two. Normal psychological jealousy occurs when a man feels insecure because he perceives a genuine reason. Perhaps you were overly friendly with a colleague at a party, or he felt neglected. This is an expression of his fear of loss. Pathological jealousy, however, is a delusion with no basis in reality. Normal jealousy can be healed through reassurance and the restoration of trust. This strategic disengagement. To maintain your grace, you must learn the art of disengagement. When your partner is aggressive, his nervous system is in a state of high arousal. At this moment, offering resistance, shouting back, being manipulative, or making demands only escalates the conflict. By behaving wisely and intelligently, you refuse to give his anger a landing pad. If you remain appropriate and calm, and he still resorts to violence or humiliation, you have the clarity of knowing that the problem lies entirely within his character, not your behavior. A wise woman does not provoke, she observes. If the fortress becomes a prison of systematic negativity, she has the self-love to recognize that her presence is a gift that can be withdrawn. Discover the secrets to nurturing your lifestyle and love style at wishforlove.org.